Time to get back to some international travel. This time we're heading to another country we haven't been to before, and that would be Peru. We made a quick stop in Lima before we were heading to the next destination, which we'll save for the end of the video. But while we were in Lima, we did a chocolate class. We started learning about the preparation of the cacao from bean to bar, which is what the workshop was called. First, we tried out the individual beans, including the little white outer mucusy layer. Gonna be doing most of the class as a voiceover with a little bit of sounds from it in between because it was quite loud in the middle of the city.
Let me rub your hand.
Yeah. He said don't bite?
Don't bite it and don't swallow it. Just chew it. How is it? Do you like it? Yeah. It tastes kind of like nutty.
After tasting the unprocessed bean, she showed us through the process of taking from that bean to the processed bean that eventually becomes ground up into cocoa powder. She talked about the different areas where they have the plantations, a lot of which are closer to the Amazon because the cacao plant is very specific on where it needs to grow. After pulling the beans out, they have to be fermented and then dried. The next step is back to the process we were going to be handling in this workshop, which is roasting the beans.
Smell it well. Tell me, is it similar to chocolate? Too much, a little. I mean, I get the... You can guess that it's going to turn into chocolate, right? Yeah. Now, our job right now will be to select our beans.
We needed to select the beans out of there because over time, since they had been exposed to the air, some of them have begun to germinate. So we needed to make sure we picked ones that had not started that germination process. After selecting our beans, we put back all the rejects for somebody else to pick through later before getting to the roasting. A lot of the chocolate smell started coming out as we roasted the beans. After they're nice and toasty, we had to deshell them. We set the shells aside for making tea with. Usually it would be a waste product, but some people do make tea with them.
I don't know which one that is. Okay, thank you. And cheers. Oh, sorry. It's actually really good.
It's good, it tastes like hot chocolate.
It tastes like hot chocolate. But light. Yeah.
After tea, we were back to processing the beans, which next step was grinding it into cocoa
Butter inside here. So we break them, and with the friction we're going to make like this. The cocoa butter will melt. That will help us to get the paste that we want. If you do this with coffee, you cannot get a paste, you just get powder because the coffee doesn't have fat. But here we have this cocoa butter that will permit us to get something like chocolate.
Now usually you need at least 100 beans to make a bar, so we weren't going to be doing that by hand. What we ended up having enough cocoa butter for was for an ancient Mayan drink to give homage to the origin of chocolate. The ingredients were water, cocoa butter, honey, chili, and the blood of the enemy. Obviously we didn't use one ingredient because we wanted to keep our sugars a little bit low, so we left out the honey.
Cheers! Cheers! This is really good too. Good? Yeah. I don't taste the chili too much.
Next, we were showing the different ratios of each chocolate between white chocolate, milk chocolate, and dark. And we were allowed to pick what we wanted to use for our bar that we would be making. Now, unfortunately, I lost what happened to the leftover footage of the stream. This was recorded on my camera. I was running both at the same time, and I didn't use the camera to record our bars. Shayna filled hers up with Oreo crumbles, and I filled mine up with chili flakes and Oreo crumbles because it was delicious. Unfortunately, the bars were massive, so it took a while to get through, and whenever we only had 2 days before we were taking our flight to the next location. which is something we had signed up for a year before leaving. It is from the same company as the Mongol Rally. But before leaving, Shayna had the boarding passes open on her phone, but unfortunately, for some reason, the app was not opening my boarding pass and only showing hers even if we tapped on my name, so I had to turn around at the gate and run back to get my boarding pass because we were running late. And now it was time for a good old adventure again.